Welcome to LOA Today. Walt Thiessen and life coach Linda Armstrong here. Today is Friday, February the 15th, 2019. It's 4 p.m. in New York, 1 p.m. in Los Angeles, 9 p.m. in London, Sydney, Australia is at 8 a.m. Wherever you are in the world, thank you for joining us for another episode of LOA Today, your daily dose of happy. And we are happy that we're going to be doing the fifth and final meditation in this series of five that Linda's been leading us in for a number of weeks now, and 4 previous weeks actually. And from what she tells me, this is like this is the crown jewel of them all. This is the one that is going to make the others sit up and take notice because it's got the best journey of all. So I hope I'm not giving too much away here, Linda. I mean, I'm trying to be very circumspect. You didn't really tell me a whole lot anyway, but am I on the right track? This is like the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So I enjoy every time I run people through it.
Hmm. Hmm. And these are all that you learned, all these meditations you learned when you were going through your training, right? When you were becoming a life
In
coach.
my Law of Attraction Coaching Academy, yeah, we did a whole thing on future visioning. So that's what this is all based on.
Right, right. And
Yeah.
and why future visioning? Because that was something new. I mentioned that the first time with the first episode where we did the first meditation on this, but why is future visioning such an important thing to focus on? Because it was new to me.
But it isn't really new to you, especially when you think about you just did a whole series. I don't know if you're still doing it on Neville Goddard, right?
True. Yep.
What do you think? What do you think he's talking about?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah. So
So
really,
this
it's
is
just connecting to a future self who's already achieved what it is or more than you could even imagine
mm.
because you're connecting with that part of you that's already in the future, that's already done those things. So
This is definitely good practice for Neville stuff too. I mean, for becoming a Neville practitioner, so to speak.
yeah.
In fact, now that I think about it, Cindy pointed out to me that I don't remember what the exact context was, but Neville himself or someone close to him predicted that he was going to be a major influence in this century, and that there was going to be this major resurgence. And sure enough, there is a major resurgence in interest in him, and he's gained followers that didn't even know he existed 20 years ago, and he hasn't been around on the planet for 45, 50 years, something like that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, because when did he pass? Was it in the 70s?
It was in the 70s, yeah, early 70s. I don't remember the exact year,
Yeah.
um, because he did all of his teaching in the late 30s, 40s, 50s, and early 60s. So he had a very prolific career in terms of sharing all this stuff. And I still marvel at the fact the guy started off as an actor. He was an
Oh yeah.
actor in New York. Yeah, that's how he got going. And he was apparently very successful. He played a lot of successful roles. This was in the 1920s, I think, and was doing very well for himself. But he met his friend Abdullah. Abdullah kind of, changed his whole direction just by telling him what he taught him about the nature of the universe and so forth. And Neville didn't even give it a second thought. He left that career behind and embarked on his lifelong career of being this teacher of what we call law of attraction. He didn't call it that. He had other labels for it, but he never called it law of attraction.
But he always referred to your wishes fulfilled, like it's already done. No, he didn't call it law of attraction though, huh?
Right now, I've never seen that phrase. The closest I've seen is law of assumption, which is kind of close. It's not quite the same thing, but
Not
it's
that
kind
one.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a number of other names that he uses to describe it. In fact, for those who are interested in Neville, Cindy Chavez and I, as Linda knows, have been doing a series about him for quite some time now. We are on, I believe, our fifth of the 10 or 11 books that Neville's done, and it's very insightful stuff. But it really helps to have somebody like Cindy Chavez to help me dissect it because he takes a lot of biblical scripture and repeats it, but the meaning behind it is completely different from what your traditional churches teach. And the central blasphemy, if you will, that he teaches is that we are God. And there are a lot of churches that would have a little trouble swallowing
Yeah,
that
but
part.
he's not the only one saying that. There's a lot of people
Ah,
talking about we're all aspects of God because we are.
that's right. Yeah, and I agree. I think that is true. I like the fact that that is kind of taking hold. There are more and more people. I get amazed how many people are now believers in that way of thinking. Um,
Well,
I'm actually a little bit cautious now because I can't remember who pointed it out to me, but somebody recently pointed out to me there's actually a tendency to almost turn it into a religion, which is the last thing that I would be interested in doing. But
Turn what into a religion?
the whole belief of us being God and the idea of source energy and of energy being part of the real world as well as being part of the non-physical world and
Yeah, but you
how
see, but that's like normal talk in the spirituality world. You do anything, look up anything on spiritual awakening, and that's everywhere. It's like
Mm.
common. It's not
Yeah,
new, and in no way does anybody that I've come across put it in a form of a religion.
which is
But
good. I'm glad of that. Yes.
what I like about Neville's book is that I like the way he explains some of these things that he's
Mm.
reading, these Bible verses,
Yeah.
because you never taught it that way.
Oh, it's an entirely different take on Bible verses.
Right.
You have to really read them with what we call the Neville decoder ring and basically do word substitutions to understand what he's talking about because otherwise you're colored by what you might have heard in your church or synagogue because it's like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not what they were teaching me.
But I like what he does because it makes more sense. I mean, I don't think God
Does.
really teaches guilt.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
With you. Yeah.
But religion teaches that.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why I'm cautious. I mean, I fully agree with you, and I like the fact that virtually all the spiritual teachers I've ever heard of, the book publishers and so forth, they're not pushing a religion at all. The religion part that I'm seeing it in, I've seen in, I won't name the group, but there's one particular group I've seen on Facebook that is very much studying the works of Abraham Hicks, but they're almost religious about the way they're very rigorous in the way that they approach it. And if you say anything that doesn't adhere to the Abraham way of teaching, they'll kick you out of the group. That to me is pushing a religion, and I don't really
Yeah.
like that
But
so
you
much.
know, because that is totally being the way you say that, that's totally coming from that ego mind, which is fear
Yes.
based. It's not at all a connection to the soul, which is the God energy.
Right. Yeah, that's
So
true. All of
that
me.
I like if I saw that, I'd be like, okay, I'm not here, that's for sure.
I actually dropped out of the group. I didn't want to be a
Yeah,
part
but
of it anymore.
that's like that's like it's like people who are going through hard times and all they want to do is talk about how tough their life is.
Right.
It's
Yes.
like,
That's the
they
same
just
feeling.
want to be around people who are miserable so that they can feel
Yes.
better about being freaking miserable.
Yeah, that's right.
It's an
That's right.
energy.
Yeah.
So you sensed that energy, I guess, when you saw that group and you're like, not a match.
Well, I'd say it's more than the energy. I also saw some of the things they said, and I didn't have to feel the energy. You could read it. It was really clear. But after after I saw that, then I think that's when I kind of connected on the heart level and
Yeah, but what
realized, yeah,
what
it didn't.
you're not seeing is that you read those words and it totally didn't resonate with your energy.
Well, that's true. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right.
So you knew, even just based on the words, that this doesn't feel right.
Oh,
Otherwise, you'd be like, yeah, these guys are speaking my language.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And you're right. What I was reading just felt wrong. It just felt nasty. It felt
Yeah.
uncomfortable, unpleasant. It felt really awful.
And
Yeah.
there's nothing about Abraham Hicks that would have that energy attached to it.
Not even close. No.
Nothing. Yeah.
No. Abraham, I love Abraham. I mean, I always have to remember that Abraham, as we understand Abraham, is being translated by Esther because she's receiving these thought blocks or whatever they call it, thought forms, and translating that into English. And of course, she has to do that from her own frame of of reference of how the life is, and what words she knows and what concepts she knows. So she has to explain it that way. But she does a beautiful job of doing that, and she has been tremendously successful at being able to convey the Abraham message as purely as possible. And I say that because English is a tough language. I mean, it is the most predominant language on the planet in terms of how well it's accepted around the globe, but it is a difficult language. It's multi-valued to extent that most other languages aren't. It has more idioms than any other language I can think of. And because of that, it also tends to be a little bit slippery on the meanings of words. And she has found ways to convey the meanings that Abraham has given her that, I mean, sometimes it's a little bit vague because of what she's trying to express, but most of the time it's clear as can be. I
I
really
think
admire her for that.
they kind of came up with their own language, really.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still she's the English. She has to provide the English, but I think you're right. Abraham played a major role in
Yeah,
figuring
but
out how.
she's coined words and phrases to get
Yep.
across um, concepts.
Exactly, Yeah,
Yeah.
which is very cool. This will be, besides the meditation, this is also a Q&A. And so if you have questions that you'd like Linda and I to address, we'd be happy to do that. We'll also give people a few more minutes here to join us so that they don't miss any of the meditation, because once we start, turn off
Good.
the screen. I'm not paying any attention to it. So you're on your own at that point, folks, at least until we
Yep.
get back to the meditation. Um, so while we're waiting for people to stream in here, I just wanted to ask you, Linda, about, I mean, I've been meaning to ask you about this before. You made reference to it last week. What is the story behind the wings behind you? You've got these wings. They're angels' wings. That's what you told us last week. But why? How did that end up there? That's what I'm wondering. Because I mean, I've been seeing it all these weeks that we've been doing it. I never really asked you about it, but
Well, I
why?
mean, when I do healing, I'm channeling the the angel energy.
Hmm.
I feel because I can feel. Sometimes I'll be with someone, and I just feel this huge presence with me. This angel. Um,
Hmm.
so I happened to be looking through Etsy, and I saw these a little bit different. I'm like, oh my God, it just hit me. I got to put those angel wings behind me, because most of the time, at least when I do online work and I'm at my home office, I do it here. So I wanted to have the angel wings backing me up, and they got
Yeah,
my back. They're working through me. So that's why I put them there.
that's a good metaphor, really.
Yeah.
That the angels have our back. I,
Yeah.
that's another one of those concepts. I mean, like the Neville Goddard stuff with bringing in the scripture. I had a hard time getting into Neville the first few times. I mean, Cindy had to kind of like feed it to me, through like a what do you call it? A squeeze bottle, whatever the thing's called.
Uh-huh.
And eventually, I adapted and got used to it and found, oh, this is very valuable. Angels is another concept that I have trouble with for the longest time because of the religious associations. But over time, I've gotten more and more comfortable with it because it's really just another way of saying someone who's in the non-physical. And when I understand it that way, it's like, oh, well, why didn't I say so in the first place?
Yeah, or just extensions of the God energy, that
Mhm.
are they're of that very high vibration. Um, yeah.
Because I know that all of us who have any kind of Christian uh, historical background or whatever understanding, we've heard about, the angels by name that the Bible has mentioned or that were mentioned in medieval literature. Paradise Lost comes to mind, for instance. And so we think of, okay, those are the angels, archangels, that kind of thing. And we don't really think of them as being just around us, just ordinary. Lots and lots of them are just doing their angelic things. We think of them
Yeah.
as these beings from this horrible literature.
Yeah. So you gotta ask yourself, well, why doesn't religion share the comfort that angels can bring, or the healing that angels could bring? Why
Yeah, I've
not?
been that for a long time. Yeah. You just
I mean,
explained very nicely why it is I left religion at age 14.
right. So I mean, really, okay. So I'm 57, I think. I always forget, and it's
You look about
only been
27.
in the last like couple of maybe in the last 2 years that I've even been able to say the G word.
Really?
God. Yeah, I can do it now, but I
I,
couldn't for
I
a long
I
time.
can appreciate that. I've been in the same boat. It took me
Yeah,
a long time. Even now, I'm a little resistant to it. But if somebody says God, I immediately say source energy. It's just
right.
I just won't even go there.
But when I work with people, I'll give like 10 different ways of saying that, and whatever works for you. If I can say the
Yeah.
God word, I'll use the God word.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, but for me, because religion was just forced down my throat, and what I got from that was, you know, I didn't get anything good from it. I got all punishment and guilt, and you have to
Right.
fear this and you have to fear that,
Yeah.
and I didn't get it in a loving, peaceful kind of a thing. So I also, because I ridged against it, never really gave it a chance either. I mean, there could be lots of even Christian religions that can put it in a nice way.
Hmm.
I've never, I don't know about it. I'm sure it must exist.
Well,
Um,
I know of one exactly. And what's interesting about him is that his name is very similar to the name of one of my co-hosts. One of my co-hosts is Joel Elston, but there's Joel Osteen, who is a Christian TV preacher but very much law of attraction, and is kind of on the outskirts, on the outside where the church is concerned. I've heard him politely described as being Christian light, and more impolitely described in other ways that are ways I don't want to describe here on the podcast. But there are a lot of people within the leadership circles who look down their noses at Joel Osteen like there's something wrong with him.
And
But
why? Why are they so threatened by bringing light to the world, you know?
great question. I wish I knew
Yeah.
the answer to that. Yeah, all I can say is that it threatens their preconceived way of looking at all this stuff, and that way is fear-based. I mean, that's
Because
just what
then
it
you
is.
can't, how can you control us if we realize we have this power and we're connected to it all the time and it can support us and lead us in everything we do?
Yeah,
Then you can't have that control factor.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's a central theme that all salvation has to go through the church. And yeah,
Right. I mean, I don't read the Bible. I don't know really. So that's why it's kind of neat to hear the way that Neville put some of these things out.
yeah,
But it seems that, you know, it's more of a political thing in the way the religions came and changed or interpreted things a certain way so that they can control the masses.
right. Oh yeah, and it very
At least in
deliberately.
my mind. I could be wrong, but that's the way I see it.
I think you're actually dead on, because despite my alienation from the church at a young age, I've still studied religions quite a bit since then. And just recently, I don't remember exactly why, but I was doing some research that had some relationship to the Catholic Church. And during my research, I discovered that divorce actually used to be very common after the birth of Christ for the first 10 centuries of the Catholic Church. It was very, very, very common, actually, for the first 9 centuries. And then between the ninth and 10th century, they started cracking down on it. And the way they did it is they declared that divorce was a sin. And so therefore it had to be stopped, you know. And by the end of the 10th century, it was virtually non-existent within the Catholic Church. Well, that was purely because they wanted to get more control over the flock, because the flock was going off in a direction that the church didn't have in mind. And it might actually be a threat to the church.
But you
So,
know what? We can even take that in another area too, in that there's a series called, and people can look it up if they're interested. It's called The Sacred Plant. And it's all about cannabis and how people are healing with cannabis oil and CBD oil and all of that kind of stuff.
mhm,
And the Bible makes reference to this plant and the healer that it is, right? But you can't patent that. So the Drug Association is what decided to put that whole campaign out, like what was it in the 60s, about how this is your brain on pot or what, I don't remember what they were. But they made everybody believe how bad it is because you know what? You can't make any money off of it.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
So that's manipulating something so that
Mhm.
it can control us.
Right? Yep.
In this case, so that we buy more synthetic drugs,
Hmm.
man-made things, and not find the plants that can heal.
Jeffrey made it a good comment. He says, when someone says God, I ask which one, or I add goddess. And I thought that was an interesting
Hmm.
response to have. Yeah. There are lots of ways we can respond. I think the main thing, this is the most important one, and I've only come to this conclusion in the last few years. I think the most important thing is whatever's happening, no matter how vicious even that people get about their religious views, wherever possible and whenever possible, if we can respond in a loving way, it helps to dispel it. It helps to make it go away. And it's hard. I mean, especially for somebody like me who went through kind of a really rough time, but it's important. It's important to respect the fact that hey, they're coming from a position of fear. That means they're afraid. They
Right.
really are afraid. And I don't necessarily condone what they're teaching, but nevertheless, if I can understand their fear, well, maybe I can be a little bit more understanding of how they got there. And in doing that, maybe I can put out more positive vibes that'll help them.
Yeah. So that's about not. That's about letting go of judgment.
Right.
Everybody's here to live their life their way, and as long as you're not hurting anybody, you
Right.
know, you're entitled to believe what you believe.
Yep. I agree. I think that's good. So let's see. We're about 20 minutes in. Why don't we get the meditation going, and then we
Okay.
can have a little chat afterward.
All right.
So, like I said, I'm not going to be paying any attention to the board. So you can comment all you want, but I ain't going to look at it for another half an hour. So,
And now you can hear me okay, right? So
yes, you're
far,
fine.
we're doing good with that. Okay. I got all these crystals all over the place. I'm just moving them around.
Oh, okay. Before we
All
get
right.
started, just talk about how you use the crystals, because I don't think we've really talked about that.
Well, crystals have energy, and you can use them for healing.
Hmm.
I don't. I don't stick so strictly to because I mean we could talk about crystals for a long time, but
Oh,
all
okay.
crystals have different properties and different things that they can help you with in your life, right? I tend to go with whatever crystals are drawing my attention. Those are the crystals I'll work with. I've worked with crystals to, you can kind of, because everything's energy, right? So the
Hmm.
way I like to use crystals is that I program them with an intention.
Okay.
So they assist me in my manifesting because, so like, well, I don't have it handy right now. I have this one particular stone crystal. Let me find it. It's over here. And I'll have to show it to you so you understand what I'm going to say.
Okay.
So you give them a function, right? So this crystal, this is a snakeskin agate,
Wow. Very pretty. Very
right?
pretty. Yeah.
Now the funny thing is, like, I'll go into a crystal shop. I have no intention of buying anything, and they'll know me there. I'm like, listen, I'm not buying anything today, right? But then I'm like, oh, let me hold that one. I have to hold that one. So, because the crystal will call you. So
Hmm.
this crystal didn't let me leave the shop with it, and I just had to have it. So I'm like, I don't know, is it because it's like hippie looking, tie-dye-ish or what? But who knows? But you know what I programmed this one with?
What?
This one's programmed with my moving to Arizona.
Oh,
Isn't
okay.
that the perfect stone?
It is. Yeah, the coloring is right. It's all the
Yeah,
colors from the Southwest.
Arizona. Arizona in a crystal. So that like every time I don't even have to hold it. It's already programmed with my intention about my life in Arizona and my healing center and all this kind of stuff. Um, but I could just, connect to it. I can just hold on to it. But the thing is, I've given it a job. So it's this one's function is to assist me in moving to Arizona.
Okay. All right.
So I've given other crystals jobs, and then they help to focus that energy in to already having the desire. And I learned about this even before I learned about law of attraction from a crystal shop in New York City, and they would tell me, I'd buy these crystals because I was so drawn to them. They'd say, "Tell me how to program it and how to work with it. You talk to it in present time. You already have the desire. You're just making up. It's Neville. It's Neville in a crystal. You're
Right.
just making up all the stories that support." And it's just like when I do future visioning, future gratitudes in a gratitude journal. I'm
Hmm.
writing about something that already happened, even though it didn't happen in my current physical reality. It's already happened. I'm stepping forward to it, right? So these are
Hmm.
just all different tools that can help you to focus that intention and feed the energy of what you want. Now, there's
Yeah.
more to it than that, of
Well, that's a
course.
good overview. That helps a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can use crystals of certain colors because chakras have a frequency, and the color has a frequency. So you can use it for healing to have maybe a certain chakra be bring its resonance back to, because you see a crystal holds one frequency. Our bodies have so many. So when
Hmm.
things are out of whack, and say you're doing crystal healing by putting crystals on the chakras, you putting a color of that chakra or crystal that has a property that works with that chakra so that the chakra can come back in tune to that frequency of the crystal. So
Okay.
it brings it entrains itself back to a certain frequency. So that's how you can use crystals all over the body to change the frequency of the of your body, of the space. I mean, just like saging something, you're changing the frequency and the energy that's in the space. So
And it's
yeah, that's a
taking,
quickie overview
yeah.
of, yeah.
Well, you're taking advantage of the fact that, as Cindy says, energy entrains unto itself. So you're taking advantage of that capillary effect or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
because this is steady and constant.
Hmm.
And so when you have it over an area that maybe needs more of a certain energy, that area or that chakra will entrain to that constant because it's very sure. It's like one frequency. And so all this scattered stuff can kind of come back into tune.
Hmm. Okay.
It's one way of putting it. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. All right. Well, thank you for that. I didn't
You're
mean to distract
welcome.
too long, but I was curious. So
Okay.
anyway, so go ahead.
Okay, so we're going to start the meditation. So you're ready, right?
Where I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. So let's have everyone, whoever's watching, whoever's listening in real time, just to sit in a comfortable position, taking in a nice deep breath, gently and easily letting it out. Just feel yourself settle into the chair that you're sitting in, or if you're laying down, whatever the surface is that you're laying on, allowing your body to relax, allowing your mind to unplug for just about 20 minutes. That's all. Letting go of everything else, and just again feeling your breath, being aware of it as it comes in and through your body. Taking another deep breath in, and you're just relaxing and releasing and just letting go. Any thoughts that pop in that have nothing to do with this space right here, right now, you just send them away. I like to put them in little bubbles, send them away. Let them know I see you, come back later. And just find yourself settling in and feeling your own energy. So as we're just doing this little bit of breathing, slow, easy, deep cleansing breaths in and out, I'm going to read a quote from Marianne Williamson. And I invite you in an even deeper level to hear it, to allow it in, to allow these words into every single cell of your body, and just allowing your body to hold it, to embody it, and to soak it in like a sponge. And then after I read this quote, I'm going to go right into the meditation. So what she said is this: our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We're born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So just allow yourself to take that in, taking a nice deep breath in, letting it out, and just feeling those words, feeling that wisdom that comes from Marianne Williamson. Taking another deep breath in, and just start feeling the world around you supporting you, reminding you how special and how beautiful and how powerful you truly are. And as you feel that support, and maybe even set it in your mind that, the universe has got my back, the angels, guides, God, everyone's got my back, this beautiful energy of love. As you let yourself feel that support, just feeling your breath in and out. Nice deep breath in, letting go on the exhale, and really truly just letting go. Sense yourself relaxing, completely getting used to relaxing easier, and allowing yourself to breathe in relaxation. Allowing the light at the top of your head to start flowing down and just relaxing and releasing and washing away any tension, allowing you to go into a deeper place of peace. Feeling safe, feeling comfort, feeling a sense of power, feeling a sense of peace. And just relax allowing it to flow down from the top of your head into your neck and your shoulders, flowing down into your chest, into your heart, allowing your heart to fill with the light and the love, going down your back, into your arms, just allowing this light to flow through you, flowing down now into your abdomen, into your hips, into your thighs, washing away the tension as you breathe in again deeply, filling yourself up with this light, just letting it in as it flows down now past your knees and your shins and your calves and all the way out through your feet, just releasing all the tension, relaxing, letting go. And once again, I'm going to count backwards from the count of 5 to 1. And at the count of 1, go to that beautiful, safe place, that place in nature that is just right for you. So beginning at 5, drifting down deeper. 4, relaxing, letting go. 3, relaxing even more, easily, peacefully. 2, feeling the comfort. And 1, and you're now in that beautiful, peaceful, safe place in nature. Feel the nature that's all around you. Observe and just notice the beautiful colors that are surrounding you. Feel the fresh, soft air, the warm fire of the sun, the moisture of the water. Just notice the balance and the beauty, and just allowing that beauty to nurture you. And as you look around at the beauty and at the peace, this time you notice there's a new path there, and you feel an adventure and some intrigue and some excitement, and you're curious as you sense that this is your path of power, a path for you to walk, to explore, to play, to practice, using your power, manifesting and creating and communing and imagining. And you just take a step or 2 or 3 down this path. And you start walking down this path. And you take another step and another step, feeling the excitement, looking forward to what's up ahead, looking forward to all that's on this path that is waiting for you. And then you realize that on this path, what's going to be up ahead is actually what you decide to create. So as you walk along this path, you feel that sense of power, and you feel that sense of glory of God that is within you, the glory of the goddess, of who you are being, which is powerful. The power that you were born with, the power that is always yours, and you feel the vitality and the health and the aliveness. And you realize that you are choosing vitality, health, and aliveness, and it's instantly there. It's in your body. You feel it. You've manifested it. Wow, that happened so quickly. And you walk along this path powerfully, having fun, healthy, being strong, and you imagine that just around the next corner, knowing that what you imagine will be there. So around the next corner, you imagine that there's a beautiful beach. And as you round the corner, lo and behold, there's a beautiful beach. It's exactly what you wished for, and it showed up. The beauty, the sand, the sky, the wonderful colors of the ocean, the vastness of the ocean, the infinite beautiful clouds just floating up above. And just for the fun of it, you decide to move one of the clouds. Maybe with your thoughts, maybe with your pointer finger. You reach for the cloud and you just move it over. Just a little bit. And you realize how creative you are, how powerful you are. And you keep on walking with a joyful heart. as a powerful creator, full of this universe, loving to create, choosing to create. And you choose around the next corner to create a beautiful fountain. A fountain that you drink from that is refreshing. And you walk around the corner, and lo and behold, there is this beautiful fountain. And you can drink from this beautiful, crystal clear water. And you even put a little on your face to refresh yourself. And you feel so loved. You feel empowered. You feel supported. And you take a nice little drink. And as you feel the love, you decide to continue walking. And around the next corner, you decide to create that special partner or your partner already in this lifetime. You have your partner join you on this path. And it's the partner that suits you so beautifully. If it's your current partner, it's just you and them and this beautiful connection that is beyond what you've ever experienced in your current reality. The two of you becoming even more forcefully connected. And if it's a new partner, it's someone who connects with you in so many different ways. And you step forward gracefully, and around the next corner, there's that partner that loves you, that love that goes on forever. And you just love this person, and they celebrate your every existence. And this person really gets you, knows who you are, and understands and cares deeply about you, and you care deeply about them. And you notice the recognition, the joy, the embrace, the celebration. And as you feel how much you're being loved and how much your love gives to them, you also sense the hope and the happiness and the pleasure, and you sense the security and the trust. You also sense how they love you and how their love touches and nourishes you. And you just let it in and receive it. And you feel the flow of love, and it's so soulful, it's fulfilling. It's filling you, and it's filling you, and you walk forward. And you're so filled with love that you just want to give more of it out. So around the next corner, you sense yourself giving to the world through your work, through your contributions, through your friendships, through your helpfulness, perhaps just through your smile, through your attitude, for all of the gifts that you want to bring to the world. And you feel yourself contributing to people, to individuals. Maybe it's one-on-one or with groups, but you're so filled with love that you give to the whole entire world. And you feel the universe all around you, flowing through you. You have this unlimited supply that will never run out. So in giving, you have more flow to you. The more you give out, the more is flowing back. And you just feel the world filled with your love. You fill the world with your love, and the world awakens to its own abundance. And the world is filled with love. And with that world filled with love, you begin now, or around the next bend, around the next corner, to imagine now your beautiful life. Maybe it's a beautiful house, a beautiful place to live, the places that you love to travel and enjoy, the loved ones you want to share it with, the people you want to share your home with, your adventures, your learning, your smile, your laughter. Just imagine the laughter all around you. In and out of those that celebrate it with you, that play with you, the friends, the family, just enjoying the abundance that you live with in your beautiful world. And you think it, and it's just there. You're just trying it on. You're manifesting in your imagination first, and then walking into it in your life. And you sense the whole world living in this state of abundance and peace. And you sense men, women, children all over the planet remembering who they are, powerful beyond measure. And you realize your decision when you chose not to shrink or no longer to hold down your light. And you realize that when you choose to step more into the glory of who you are, not only did that change the world, the sirens are going by letting us know this is it. You're stepping out. You're shining that light out into the world. You realize you chose to step more into the glory of who you really are. Not only does that change the world, but it also changes your world, the world. And this inspires others to see that they too can live in abundance. And it feels amazing. You're a part of success, of the human journey, this loving experiment. You're part of it. And you're creating this journey, this adventure, and it serves you and all of those you come in contact with. And now just around the next corner, you dream and imagine a beautiful garden. There's a garden there that is filled with light and love. And as you walk into this garden, the fragrances, the colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows, the beautiful greens, the blues, the indigos, the violets, all the beautiful colors are there. And you walk into this garden and you find a beautiful pool. And this pool is a pool of forgiveness. And as you stand by that pool of forgiveness, you invite the different aspects of you to come and join you, to love and to forgive. And now you invite that small child, that inner child within you, you invite them to come in, and you just embrace and hold them and invite now the adolescent to come in, the part of you that questions, that's a little curious, maybe a little rebellious. And again, now you're bringing in the adult you, that young adult, which is you starting out in life. And you invite the adult you as well, inviting all of them, all of these aspects of you into this beautiful garden. And you look at them and you see the beauty, you see the life, you see the love within them. And you also see the mistakes and the way that they chose to play small, the things that they forgot, the things they didn't remember, the things that they didn't know, the way that they hurt themselves and the way that they hurt others. And in front of this pool, you create a bonfire, huge bonfire. And one by one, you take those hurts and you throw them into the fire. You take those burdens, the weight, the pain, the sadness, the loneliness, the anger, the resentment, self-sabotage, and you just lift it. You lift it from that little child, and you take all of it and you just throw it into the bonfire. And it doesn't have to happen slowly. It can happen very quickly. Everything in the universe is energy. So as you release this, you release the energy from that inner child, and you're putting it into that bonfire. And now you do the same with the adolescent. You take their anger, you take their sadness, you take their confusion, the rigidity of all of that, and you ask them to just give it up, to move it out. And you get them to just get them out of their self-sabotage. You take away their self-sabotage. You take away that resentment, their hopelessness, their fear, the manipulation and the control, and you just move it all entirely. And you feel the light, the truth of their life as you lift and forgive, placing all of those burdens in that bonfire. And the fire grows and it consumes. And now the young adult who made some good life choices, perhaps some not so good life choices, you take away from them all the guilt, all the pain, all the shame, all the fear, and they release it. And they allow you to move it out of their energy field and once again place it onto that fire. And the adult that made some bad choices, You lift all the reasoning, all the self-sabotage, all the anger, all the shame, all the reasons for the bad choices, the manipulation, the control, and you just lift all of those reasons now and you just toss those into the fire. And then looking at these beautiful beings now, filled with light and love. There's so much love for them that you cannot not love them. Their beauty is undeniable. And you love them in so many ways, particularly in forgiving. And forgiveness is that special love that erases the pain, that erases the guilt, and that says, it's okay. Even though there were mistakes made, conscious or unconscious, it's okay. They're still lovable. And you love them and you forgive them. And now you take the child with you and you lead that little child into the pool of forgiveness. And you step into that pool of forgiveness with your inner child, into that liquid love, that liquid light. And you feel the light flowing into you, and you feel the vitality, the energy, and the enthusiasm, passion, and the love just filling you up. And you watch this child splash and play, and he or she comes alive and enjoys and splashes and plays, and all of a sudden the adolescent jumps in, and the passionate adolescent jumps into the pool, splashes everyone. The young adult and the older adult now step in and bathe and swim and bask in this love and forgiveness, in this healing pool of love. All of you dreaming together as you splash each other and play with each other, as you wash in this light and love through the splashing and the playing, and this light and love, it just comes from your eyes. The laughter filling each of them up. And then all together, you dream for this child, new parents that will love, care, and support him or her. You create new parents, and those new parents come and take this child from your arms, from this pool of forgiveness. And they take him or her into this new life of love and joy, remembering now that God, Goddess, is within. And you dream out for the adolescent, friends, maybe new parents in the background, friends to come in and play and hang out with, wise friends, powerful friends, empowered friends. The young adult finds direction, clarity, knowing who they are. And then you step out and you get dressed and you go off for their adventure, each one of them. And the adult comes to you. And as you love and merge, you take in the power, the passion that was suppressed, that was depressed, and you claim the power, the passion. And you step fully integrated now with your older adult self as empowered adults. You blend together now, an empowered adult, and you step out of this pool, and there is Goddess and God waiting for you with a beautiful towel and a magnificent robe, and you just dry and you're dressed, and you stand together, three beings of light, God, Goddess, and you, and your dreams for the future for yourself. And you see the world and these dreams, and it's all just coming true. You dream of love made manifest in the universe, on earth, and in your life. And you let your light shine, and you feel it, and you feel liberated. And you know it will touch many people's lives in your world. You are brilliant and gorgeous and talented, and you know it, and now you own it. And God and Goddess, they smile at your future self, that wise old you again in this glorious lifetime, and he or she is watching you and celebrating you, and you just thank God and Goddess. Even though that no thanks is necessary, but you thank them, and you step towards that future, stepping back into your life, looking forward to a future successful self, a few years from now, living joyful and empowered life. And you see that wise old you celebrating out there. And you get to step forward every day, closer and closer, more and more into the glow of that light, the love, the success, the joy, the freedom that's yours just by making the choice every day, by walking that path of power, choosing and enjoying and letting them guide you, letting them help you, putting wonderful, magical miracles into your future that you haven't even dreamt of yet. Be willing to receive these gifts. And you breathe deep. And by your choice, re-entering this adventure that has always supported you, having forgiven yourself, and to continually be forgiving, even when you make mistakes. Just continuing to love and forgive. You don't have to be perfect. In the adventure that you now have chosen, understand why you chose to discover this you, the real you, and to find the adventure and to enjoy the adventure. That's why you came here. That future glows with a promise, with light, and with love. And in a moment, I'm going to count back from 1 to 5. And at the count of 5, just returning to the room that you're in, into this time and space, into your life now, into the life you choose. Looking forward to an even brighter future. Beginning at 1. Sensing and being in a deep peace. And emerging from that peace into the duality where you are. 2. Feeling the love, feeling the joy, the hope. 3. The happiness, the freedom. 4. Feeling that power that was always and always yours and will always be yours. And 5. And just go ahead now and gently open your eyes, taking a nice stretch, nice deep breath in, stepping into your power. Stepping into that love. And before we end, I just want to release for you, and you just have to say yes if you want this release. You want to release any vows, oaths, decisions you may have ever made within your entire existence that forbid you and prevent you to step into your power, to shine your light, to express yourself without fear, just allowing yourself to be in that space, letting go of anything, any beliefs, any old experiences, any traumas, letting go of all the energy cords connected to any of those experiences, really fully clearing your energy field and allowing yourself to really fully express your truth, the light and the love that you are. And so I also just want to download for you what it feels like actually be in that place of power, that pure love and light of your soul, and to easily, effortlessly express it in the world. Yeah. So you can just maybe open your eyes and really bring yourself back, stretch a little bit more. Allowing yourself to feel that, oh boy, I hope that we didn't go, I hope you can still hear me. I think we're frozen. Wow.
We're hearing you fine.
Okay, good, because my screen is totally frozen. I hope you got all of that. I wasn't watching the screen, so I didn't know.
Fortunately, the video does tend to work under almost any circumstances, so we'll just assume that it did.
Okay, great, great. So like right now, I am still like so floating in this energy, like it's so expanded. So I'm just holding that space for anyone who really has either been with us already in person on the live call and all those who enter later on, because there's no time and space. So whatever we're doing right now, as long as you're participating, you're feeling the effect of it.
I sure am. Oof.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the energy is really strong. So my computer looks totally frozen. But I hear you, so I think we're good.
And I see you, so I'm pretty sure everything's working okay in terms of what they're
Okay.
seeing.
You
But
see me moving?
yeah, yeah, you're
Okay,
moving
good.
just like
Okay, good.
you, so that's good.
All right,
But
good.
wow, that was quite a meditation. That was really something.
Yeah, there's a lot packed into that one.
There is, and a lot of themes in there that I really, really like. I especially like, I don't remember exactly how to express it, but the theme of how uh, the, the love and the joy spreading throughout the world and getting larger and larger. You were describing that part, and I was getting a really warm feeling out of that. That felt great.
Well, I mean, really, if everything out there is a reflection of what's inside, whatever we are putting out, it's not just for our little, what we might consider the edges of our own universe. It goes out everywhere
Mm,
to everyone. It goes out to the collective. So the more that you are putting out that good energy, well, guess what? The more of it you're going to get back, right?
yeah. Oh, yeah. And we
I
have
think it's
talked in
just,
the past about how the energy is palpable, and that's the other thing I was noticing. I mean, yeah, you described at the end there how you could still feel it, and I'm still feeling it too. I'm still feeling that energy all around, which is
yeah,
very cool. I love that. That's nice.
right. That's why I always tell you I get high off the work I do.
Yeah, yeah, I could see. Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And so because it goes out to the collective, like if you're, it just came to mind, so I'm going to tell you, if you're sending love to someone, because I told you I send it to, like whoever I'm walking by, especially those I feel that really could use a little extra love, I just send them love. Just like that. I just, love, love, love. I send you love. That's all I do. That's my trigger. Love, love, love. That to me, I've conditioned that. That means nice bolt of love going to whoever it is that I'm directing it at. But it's up to that person's soul to soak it in, right? The
Sure.
thing is, if they can't or they won't, it just bounces off to the next person. Like it's nothing wasted. It's all going out into
Hmm.
the collective. Yeah.
And I like that. That
Yeah.
that's a really good way to look alternatively at stuff in the world that people don't like. I mean, a lot of people get hung up on, world events and environment and politics and the news and all this other stuff that they don't like. What a better way to interact, if you will, just to put that out, to put that energy feeling out there.
Yeah. And to really understand that the news, the way they make their money is by creating fear so that you keep watching in hopes that something good happens, right? They don't give you too much of the good stuff. So, I mean, I don't even listen to it. But if you feel like you need to listen to it, listen to like 5 or 10 minutes, then turn it off.
Oh,
It doesn't do
absolutely.
you any good. Like start noticing your energy as you're watching. How does it make you feel? So
Oh,
if
yeah.
it's triggering this fearful, negative, or angry energy, stop listening because you know what? You're putting that energy out there.
Right. Well, and I'm
As
also
you're
taking the
feeling
next
it,
step.
you're putting it out.
Well, I'm also taking the next step, taking this feeling that you helped us create here, this energy that we're creating here, going to that and putting that out instead of getting all worked up about whatever it is you're getting all worked up about. What a
Right,
shift that is. That's a
right,
huge shift.
right.
That's a shift that can only produce wonderful results.
And that's why meditation is good. So when you feel yourself sometimes getting caught up in some of this other stuff, because it happens, I mean, it just happens. We're human, right?
Right?
If you can just unplug, even for a few minutes, that's why I like my angel puffs. I take, I just breathe in angel love like 3 times a day, no matter what I'm doing. My timer goes off. I just do it. I
Hmm.
could be driving in my car, but I just intend that I'm just breathing in this angel energy into every cell of my body. And it just it helps to bring me back into center, into alignment. Um, that's like the least you can do, right? I mean, that's so easy. But if you can even just sit quietly, whether you think you're meditating or not, but you're just unplugging and being in that space of, with the intention, I just want to connect to source energy. I'm going to
Hmm.
allow myself to power up through connecting to the power, the source, right?
Hmm.
Um, yeah. If you did that every day, things will shift. They'll have to shift because you're making a conscious effort to hold this higher vibration a couple of times a day or once a day, but you're doing it. Again, it has that ripple effect, right?
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
more and more and more people would unplug, from all the craziness and just get centered and just breathe. Create your own imagination for that, or just let yourself feel like, when you meditate a lot, you can just a couple of breaths and you can just feel yourself expanding out into everything, like you just did while I was speaking. It's the same kind of thing. You can. I'm just saying, I guess, that you can do it for yourself. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but
I used to think I couldn't do that, but I realized it's actually very easy to do. I just mental concepts that were making me think I couldn't do that, like old programs.
right? Yeah. Well, actually, it's effective teaching by example that you've been doing here, because that's exactly what I was getting out of it, and I feel now like I really can do more to put that feeling out there and to make it a part of my everyday life. So that alone made this whole meditation very
Yeah.
successful. Yeah.
It's, I think somewhere in the meditation it even says like choosing to blah, 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 right?
Hmm.
The
Hmm.
choice. Do I
Yep.
want to, I could sit and stay in this lower energy, or I can choose to move into a higher vibe and put that energy out.
Yep. That's
But,
true.
unfortunately, we're comfortable in those lower energies because we know them so well. So it's like
Oh yeah.
sometimes it's scary for some people to move out of that because they don't know what the other thing might bring, right? But this is
Mhm.
comfortable. Okay, I've survived here long enough. I could probably do it a little bit longer. you know.
And we've talked about that idea a number of times here on the podcast, how the comfort zone really doesn't feel all that comfortable, but it's so familiar that we kind of assume that it's about as comfortable as it can get when it really isn't. It's actually fairly
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just a waste of energy, right? So when you can that's why I like to talk about the vibometer. I mentioned that to you a few times, right? Is you're just going to get used to knowing, well, where am I vibing? Am I on the low side or am I on the high side? Okay, if you find yourself in that lower vibe, you're like, all right, so let's shift gears and get out of that lower vibe, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yep. Good.
So I know we're kind of out of time. Anybody have any comments or anything?
Jeffrey said to remind everybody to hydrate and nourish yourself after meditating. And let's see. Yeah, the comments are kind of quiet. I think they were listening to the advice, just go with the meditation and not spend all your time typing into the comments section.
All right, good.
That was good. That was really good. Thank you. First of all, thank you
You're
for leading us
welcome.
in that meditation. Thank you also I mean, this is the fifth one in the series. You've done all five with us, and
Yep.
it's a wonderful gift you were giving to us. So thank
You
you
know
for the
what?
gift. Appreciate
I've got tons of meditations that are really great. I don't want to do them every week,
it.
maybe we'll
No,
go a
no.
little while without, and then we'll do another
Yeah,
one sometime. Yeah.
I think that's good. Yeah, bring them in periodically. But they are a wonderful reminder of the power that we have, because through experiencing being led through it, we get to kind of reconnect, not reconnect, but connect more strongly to what we're always connected to and be more aware of it. I guess what they call mindfulness, being aware, being
Yeah.
feeling it, experiencing it. I mean, I know you helped me to connect to energy in a way I never had before. Starting last summer when we started doing podcasts together, you helped me to identify energy and recognize it and so forth. And I'm feeling it now. I'm really feeling it. So I
Yeah.
know these are good. These are good meditations
And
you're
it,
leading.
and I'm still going to say it's not that you never felt it before, you just weren't aware of what that was. So it's just
Hmm.
bringing conscious awareness to, because you are energy. So obviously you must be able to feel and sense it and have an effect on it, right?
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
When we become more conscious of it, then you start to get more of an understanding. And then it's easy to see because it's like attracts like again, right? So the more you
Right.
get into this space where you're sensing energy, like, wow, that was cool. Then the more you can sense energy, wow, that was cool. And then the more you can sense energy, it just grows.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you once again for leading us, and I look forward. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about next week. At this point, it's just a Q&A until we come up with a topic, but we'll think of something, I'm sure. And
Okay.
I hope you have a wonderful weekend and a happy week, and we'll touch base again next Friday. So I'm looking forward
Okay,
to that.
great.
All
All right.
right.
Thanks. Bye,
And
everybody.
thank you to everybody else. We'll see you next time here on LOA Today. Goodbye, everybody.